If you've ever knocked your knee or sprained your ankle, chances are the first thing you've done is limp towards the freezer. But according to sports physiotherapist Dr Josh Zadro, putting ice on injuries may be doing more harm than good.
So all the evidence basically says that ice doesn't add much to the healing time, it doesn't reduce pain, it doesn't reduce swelling. The evidence against ice kind of emerged 40 years ago, and it's been building and strengthening since then. But really, practice isn't changing much, and still first aid courses and physio degrees are telling everyone that they need to ice an injury.
Ice became the go-to treatment for soft tissue injuries way back in the 70s, when doctors everywhere started encouraging the RICE method: rest, ice, compress and elevate to reduce inflammation.
The original doctor who came up with the idea of RICE years later conceded that the theory doesn't stand up when you test it in proper experiments. There is a school of thought now that's all about whether ice could actually delay healing. So by reducing inflammation, which is actually the body's process of causing recovery, people now think that using ice on acute injuries could delay that healing process, because we really want that inflammation to start that healing in the body.
In the short term, cool sensations on the skin can be a welcome distraction from pain. But if you can bear to go without those frozen peas, your body might just feel better sooner. So, if experts have known this for years, why do we all still do it?
I think it's something that's been so ingrained into our sports and exercise medicine culture that everyone just does it. And for something that's become such a routine practice, that's quite hard to get that out of the system. Any pain there?
So next time you hurt yourself, maybe think twice about reaching for that ice pack. Instead, Dr Zadro says the best treatment available is gentle movement and exercise.
Let me know when you feel it. So for example, if you've sprained your ankle and it hurts a lot to walk normally, then you could always start with some light weight bearing on it. So pushing through your toes into the ground. And then as pain permits, then you can start walking normally again. And then getting back to sport as well.